What up, what up? It's your girl Pika coming in live from Singapore. It is Tuesday night. I always gotta think about what day it is, man. I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday night. We are looking at the tail end of September. Can you believe it? Oh, a couple more days and it'll be the fourth quarter of the year. You'll be looking at, all right, how well did I do this year? And, what can I cram into the fourth quarter to make sure that my sales are through the roof and make sure that, I am in the green instead of the red at the end of the year when I look at my books. Like, that's pretty much what happens, right? Fourth quarter. Like, the last hurrah, the final opportunity to get everything in as fast as possible. So we're looking at about 12 more weeks, right? Fourth term means that everyone's winding down from school already. I know SA2s are going on right now. PSLEs are going on right now. O levels coming up, A levels coming up, like all the year end stuff is going on. Like, yeah, it's tail end already, and I can't believe it. I mean, I'm proud. I came a long way from March. I didn't even started in January. I started in March, so I came a long way, and I'm actually proud of myself. So, yeah, okay. Went to work today, got a lot done. I did transcription work today, man. I remember thinking, I think I mentioned this before. I remember thinking, yeah, let's do transcription from home and I'll make a ton of money. That shit is boring. And it's all I could do not to fall asleep. So I had to keep switching it up. I had to go look at Facebook. I had to listen to YouTube for a little bit, just do other stuff because I just could not keep my eyes open. And the person I was listening to was just monotonous. It's all right though. It's all good. I'm done. So I finished all that up. I got a couple of forms to fill out or create for our teachers to fill out, for our students to fill out, feedback forms for parents, stuff like that. So, yeah, we're getting ready for year end so that by the time those last 2 weeks come up, we have stuff in place. We have something official looking that we can hand back to parents or send back home with the students to the parents and make sure the parents know, hey, you know what, we really are looking out for your best interests. These are the things that have improved since you started them with us or the start of the year, whichever one, is the earliest, and hopefully it will provide a metric of some sort to say, hey, you know what, we are effective in the way we do things, and you're in the right place. So that was work. Ran a little late today, getting to pick a little bit up, but she decided she was so adamant. She wanted to get her hair done tonight. And yesterday I would have done it, only thing is I couldn't get her in the bathroom. She would not go. She wanted to play, she wanted to do this, she wanted to start drawing. I swear to God, this girl comes in the house, drops her bag off, and the first thing she does is go beeline to any piece of paper and starts drawing crazy stuff. It's very sweet. I am very, very proud of her. She's very talented. But, man, the struggle is real. Trying to push her to do something that I need her to do so we could, leverage the little time we have before she has to go to sleep. Freaking insane. Anyway, finally got her in the bathtub, gave her a shower, washed her hair, whatever, fixed her a dinner right quick so she could eat while I was doing her hair, because obviously I can't feed her. She's too old to be fed, but she wants mommy to feed her. That's very cute. I'll take it for now because pretty soon she won't want me near her, so I'll take whatever I can. Anyway, try to get her to eat food while we were doing her hair. I had Fat Albert on. I don't know how many of y'all have watched the movie Fat Albert with I think his name is Kells, right? Where he played Fat Albert. It's a really, really cute movie, but obviously I didn't have it wasn't long enough for me to just watch that movie and do her hair. So watched that movie, and then we ended up watching one episode of The Defenders, which she kind of got a little scared. And then we watched an episode of Tangled, the cartoon series or whatever. And yeah, finally finished it around 11 something. She'll give me hell in the morning. I know it already. But it's all good. All in a day's work. But I got to spend time with baby girl and I did her hair. So her hair is fly, y'all. It is so sharp tonight. So I'm actually really proud. I remember a time where I wasn't allowed to do hair. I was told that I couldn't because I wasn't talented enough. And I mean, yeah, I wasn't raised in a black family. I wasn't raised in that kind of situation where you got to do hair or experiment with each other's hair as you were growing up. It was something I watched and watched and watched and learned because Aaron used to make me take Aaliyah to the hair shop or whatever, and I'd have to sit there and watch Lily do her hair for hours on end. And I mean, this girl would fall asleep with Lily doing her hair, but Lily had that magic touch. She could make sure that, she put enough oil in her scalp and her hair would last really well and it would be healthy at the end of everything. So I was actually really, really proud of her. And the fact that she would even listen or let me sit there. I mean, I'm not black. I don't even look black. And the fact that she would let me sit there and not give me shit about not being black, was kind of nice. I really appreciate that. So Lily, wherever you are, I hope you're doing good, Mama. It was a great experience. Yeah. Okay, so hair done. Baby girl is asleep because she just couldn't keep her eyes open at the end of that. And I'm over here sitting talking to you, and I kind of want to talk to you about expression. And by expression, let me clarify. I mean how you portray yourself to the world. And there are so many different ways of expression. I remember reinventing myself over and over again, mostly because I had to move schools. I was a new girl all the time. It was not fun. It was not interesting at all, except for when I was able to experiment. So, every 6 months we would move schools, and it got to a point where I would watch all the cool kids. I became wallflower really well, but I really got good at observing people, so I would watch the cool kids. I would watch what it is they did, what were their mannerisms, what made them cool, what were some things that people mimicked of theirs, which is how I would gauge what supposedly made them cool. So I would watch all those things, and then when I went to the next school, I'd take some of the things that I thought were okay that I could manage to pull off or whatever, and I would assimilate them into who I was for that next school or whatever. So I tried really hard to make the new kid be the cool kid. It just didn't work. I don't think I was cool enough, man. I was tall and gangly looking. I was all knees and elbows. It was, not cool. I think the coolest thing about me was my hair. But even then, I was no Topanga. I wasn't 4 feet of hair attached to a girl, but yeah, I wasn't all that cool. But that's fine. I mean, look at me now. I think I'm all right now. I think I'm cool. Maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm happy with who I am. That makes me cool. So, okay, expression. For me, a lot of times when I was in school, I didn't have the opportunity to express myself through fashion, mostly because every school I went to had a uniform. And then, surprise, surprise, my mom being the very, very, very conservative Indian type, the few schools that I did go to that didn't have a uniform, there was one in particular. I went to Jakarta International School, and it wasn't like we were poor. We were well-to-do. We had a house. We had a butler. We had a driver. We had a gardener. We had a maid. All that stuff. We were doing good, man. And it wasn't for a lack of money and not for a lack of clothes. But my darling mother gave me a uniform, and I will never forget it. There were 2 sets, right? So I had to alternate them, and it took me a while to be able to convince her for me to alternate which shirt went with which pants. That was a big damn deal. Hello. So the first outfit, or uniform, so to speak, was a Jurassic Park t-shirt. It was an ugly orange, and a pair of jean shorts that weren't actually long or short either, and they weren't fitted because everything was just too big on me. But it came to the middle of my thigh a little bit, so it was kind of like board shorts almost, but they were denim. So orange Jurassic Park. It said Jurassic Park on there. Orange Jurassic Park shirt and jean shorts, and the other one was a round collar white button down with some uniform blue shorts. So I had to wear that every day to a school where no one else wore a uniform. That shit was rough. Needless to say, I was pretty grumpy for the entire duration of that year, I think. I think the coolest thing about me at that point was I was good at Bahasa Indonesia. I pick up languages really fast. So I picked up Bahasa Indonesia quite quickly and made friends with the teacher or whatever, and I was just good at school. So I just stuck to that. I didn't know what else to do. Oh, shit. I was fucked either way. So that was the reason I couldn't really experiment with fashion. I know going to the U.S., I went to Fuqua School out in Farmville, and again, there was no uniform, but I was actually really grateful my mom let me wear whatever I wanted, but within reason. So it wasn't like I had a lot of clothes that fit me really well. Like I said, I was kind of tall and gangly. A lot of my clothes were really... They were hand-me-downs, and they didn't always fit the best way. And somehow my aunt, Papianti, had convinced me that, for me to look like I had any kind of shape or weight to me, I should go baggy. Yeah, she said go baggy. So here I was with some chicken legs and some big-ass pants. I remember wearing elephant pants, y'all. And I remember wearing bell-bottoms and those wide-leg carpenter jeans. Oh my God, I loved carpenter jeans. I don't know why. I was just obsessed with them. Cargo pocket pants. I loved those too. But yeah, so I had been convinced by my aunt that the coolest thing that I could do to make sure that I looked like I had a shape was to wear baggy pants. Yeah, moment of silence for that. Anyway, so fashion was not my thing, but that isn't to say that I didn't pay attention. I was watching all the time, and I wish I was able to, do some of that stuff. I remember there was a girl called, her name was Colleen Chambers, and she was in my class in Fuqua School, and she would come to school in like what looked like suits, man. She would wear like sweater sets and stuff, and like little short skirts, and she looked great. I mean, it worked for her, and she had this thick curly hair. Yeah, it was really cool. And then Regina Royster always stood out to me. Regina is the typical Southern hospitality belle of the South, like gorgeous girl, and she always had her hair done. She was one of those girls that she woke up early in the morning, put her hair in rollers, and then like set her hair and got it done like nice and it was like up all the time. And when she came to school, it was like beauty queen, beauty pageant ready, y'all. It was like, wow. I mean, if she's out there listening, I hope one day you can like point me in the right direction of how to do all that stuff, because I don't know. I can do braids now. I just don't know how to do my own hair when you put it in curls and stuff. So maybe, you never know. I might do a victory roll here or there one day. What else? You always had like the head cheerleader. Megan McQueen was the head cheerleader. She was really, really cool. Way out of my league friendship-wise, though. She was so cool that I don't even know if she really talked to me that often, but that's cool. I mean, I was all right. I hung out with Martha Murphy and Anna Masegin. They were younger than I was. One was the, I forget what Miss Murphy was. She wasn't the dean, that was Dean Joyce, but she was like the president of Fuqua School, and that was her daughter, Martha Murphy. And then Anna Masegin was our geometry teacher, Miss Masegin's daughter. And we hung out, and they were on some spiritual stuff way back then, and that was so cool because, I mean, I lived in Yogaville, and then I was able to speak their language and kind of appear cool. So that kind of made my day a little bit. Joanna Pennick, Emily Hill, they were really cool with me. I remember we went did we go skiing? Yeah, we went skiing for my 16th birthday. My dad took us all to go skiing. I think we went to Massanutten. Went skiing, and then like later on we went to Charlottesville and did some ice skating, which at that point I bowed out because I was just in pain from all the skiing. And yeah, it was kind of cool to be able to do all that. But like I said, fashion was not the way I expressed myself back then. I was really good at writing. I remember doing a lot of work for Ms. Mason where we'd go through Shakespeare, and Shakespeare came real easy to me. I could understand exactly what he was saying, exactly how he was trying to frame whatever he was saying, and the imagery that was involved, the alliteration, all that. Like, it was beautiful. I loved the literature. So it really resonated with me to be able to study Byron Shelley and Keats, Wordsworth, God, there's so many. But yeah, the poetry was just beautiful. And I think I fell in love with it back then and started writing on my own a little bit. I have no idea where all my writing is. I don't know where my words are. I only have like a couple things from recently. And that's part of like the ugliness of having moved around so much. Every time we moved, when we packed up and we got ready to leave, if we left a country, it was mostly everything that can fit into 2 suitcases that I could bring along, and that was it. I mean, my books, I had to leave those behind. And even now, I'm like super peeved because I had a bookcase full of cookbooks and, self-help books and all of my, my yearbooks from high school, just stuff that I wish I had here. But obviously, when I left the U.S., I could only take everything that would fit into one suitcase, so I kind of packed my clothes. Lucky at that, I mean, I've always been a minimalist. I guess it's because I hate hand-me-downs, and I really don't like shopping, so I tend to, like, just keep what I have as long as I can until it falls apart, and then I'm forced to kind of, like, go buy something. So, yeah. So, expression-wise, I became really good at expressing myself with the written word. I truly wish I could write in Tamil, because I'm telling y'all, if I ever figure it out, y'all are in trouble. I'm going to write as much as I can. But in the meantime, I'm going to focus on English, because I think I'm pretty good at that. For me, when I write, the whole purpose of me writing is for you to be able to read what I wrote and be transported to the exact emotion that I'm trying to explain. And that's what I want. I want you to be able to understand that situation, the emotion that comes with that situation, the things that I go through. If I'm muddled and upset about something, and if I'm confused and I go back and forth between, I like them, I hate them, I like them, I hate them, whatever. I want you to feel that when you read my words. And that's the kind of writing that I've been doing. For quite some time now. I don't have a collection anywhere in one place. It's kind of like here, there, and everywhere else. And I was trying to put it together on my own. I have a Facebook page called ME, which is mostly emotion. So I've tried to put it together there. And I've tried to make sure that I'm inspired enough to write every now and again, but it doesn't always happen. So, I just kind of let it go with the flow as it comes or whatever. The latest thing, writing-wise, is actually blog pieces. So I've been able to write as a guest writer for Crown for Success, and then obviously I have my own blog, which I haven't really, I'm telling you, October is going to be like one of those months where I just have to pick up my ass and make sure that I put a pen in my hand and start writing again. So that's one of those things I'm working on. The other thing is, I feel like I do express myself quite well with these audios. I love being able to speak. And yeah, I don't have an audience, and I don't have anyone to like kind of, bounce energy off of and make it dynamic in any way. You kind of have to listen to my voice, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. But I'm hoping that whatever I'm telling you, you actually are able to resonate with what I'm talking about, and maybe get the feeling that I know how you might be feeling, and that I may have touched a piece of that at some point in my life, which is why I'm able to identify with your pain and then help you move or maneuver past that. So that's another form of expression that I enjoy. Now, lately, because like I said, when I was a teenager, I wasn't able to express myself with fashion, I've kind of gotten into fashion again. And one of those things that rears its head every so often, mostly because I'm just obsessed with it, is saris. I love Indian traditional clothing. I don't like kurtas. Not a big fan of, the long skirt and blouse type deals like pavada chattas or whatever. Or lenga. Lengas are nice, but I don't know. Something about a sari is so much more elegant and sexy, and I just feel like confidence just spewing out of me when I wear that. So I feel amazing. I feel like my alter ego kind of like steps forward when I'm wearing a sari. So in that regard, I am kind of learning to express myself with clothing. The other thing is, I do love getting dressed up for work. So I'm obsessed with shows like Suits and Fairly Legal and, what else? There are so many little, shows out there that they really focus on office wear, and I love it. I was obsessed with Gossip Girl for a long time, and I really loved the way they did their uniforms. So I've been paying attention to fashion for quite some time. I don't always express myself very well, but I'd like to think that I know how to dress myself decently, so that I'm not, I've watched tons of What Not to Wear and all that stuff. Jeannie Mai, I was a big fan of her for a while as well. She's at, I think it's like First Look Asia or something, or How Do I Look Asia. But I've been watching all those things and picking up tips from here and there and everywhere else, and I've kind of figured out what works best for my body type and what doesn't. But even then, it's still a work in progress, obviously. The other thing is, I absolutely love to cook, love it. And unfortunately, a lot of my joy with cooking is derived from who I get to feed. So right now, because it's just me and baby girl, and I'm not saying that I'm not inspired to cook for her, it's just that it's two of us. And the way I cook, I usually cook in bulk. And yes, I could freeze half of it, but at that point, it's like, oh my God, I'm tired of sick and tired of eating this. What else can I eat? So for me, it's been another learning curve to kind of figure out what else I can do, how else I can cook it so that I don't waste food, that I don't get tired of eating. I get bored with food very quickly, but I do love to cook. So anytime I can invite people over just to cook for them, I am thrilled. I'm over the moon. I love meeting new people and talking to them about what they love to eat. And it gives me ideas of, other things that I could be doing. Like, I know one of my really good friends was talking about steak bites. And yeah, I know how to make Jack Daniel's steak bites. And that shit is off the hook. I know for a fact because my ex-husband used to love that. So, I love talking to people about what they like, what they don't like. My brother loves steak. He loves lasagna. He loves Salisbury steak. He loves all those, the Philly cheesesteak. I'm telling you, man. I love to cook, and I'm one of those people that if I can make it at home and save us the money of going outside to get it, I'm going to do that. And that is like a challenge to me as well, because it pushes me to really think outside the box and cut costs and make sure that I can do it at a reasonable price so that we have a lot of it at home. And it really puts the restaurant prices to shame. So yes, that is another expression of mine. I mean, there's so many though. I love, 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 love IKEA. I love designing. My dad's an architect, so I grew up kind of watching him design houses to suit the landscape that he would, whatever land was bought that he had to go ahead and put a house on. And it was fascinating to me. I mean, I don't get along with him very well now. We're not that close, but I used to think that he was just fascinating the way he did those things. So lucky for me, I was able to redesign our kitchen and recently buy, and I mean, I'm real good at cheap. So using the space that my mom had in her room, I went ahead and plotted out what I could buy that was best bang for the buck from IKEA that I could go ahead and put together and place in the room. So, I mean, I'm handy with a hammer and nails, man, and don't get it twisted. I may look skinny, but I'm strong. So all those cupboards and wardrobes and dressers and everything, yeah, I lifted and put all that stuff together and moved it into the room myself. So yes, I'm very proud of myself, and I do love that form of expression as well. I've been looking at arts and crafts a lot over the years. I am quite capable of sewing. I just don't put a lot of energy into it, and I kind of need to get back into that because I would love to make clothes for my daughter just like my grandmother did. She's been my inspiration for everything. I mean, the fact that she juggled Tushin, the fact that she provided for 5 kids, and then I don't know how many other countless people that came through and lived with her, stayed with her, needed help getting married, all these things. She was able to do all those things. And on top of that, then she went to the temple like, I don't know, twice a week or whatever. But she did make my clothes. She taught everyone around her how to cook. Nobody can cook like my grandma, man. And unfortunately, I can't either, but I will keep trying. So, yeah, so what have we covered? Fashion as an expression of who you are. Writing, speaking right now for me. I love to sing. I love to dance. Lucky for me, I had the opportunity and the privilege of learning under the best masters of Bharatanatyam in the world. Okay, they were the absolute best of the best. Papianti was actually, she's actually my aunt. She and her brother were the brother-sister duo that actually toured all of Sri Lanka when they were still performing together. Dhananjan and Shantaka, husband and wife duo that formed Kalakshetra School of Dance for Bharatanatyam. I was very privileged to be able to learn under them. And it's not one of those things where I can say, yeah, I learned under them. It's one of those things where they can say they know me by name. If I would walk into their school, they would recognize me and say, hey, Gopika, how are you? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of relationship I had. And unfortunately, and I only say unfortunately because he has now passed away, Lakshman sir, Mr. Adyar K. Lakshman, I was so privileged to be able to learn under him as well. And he made me promise him that I would never stop dancing, but unfortunately there were a couple other tragic events that happened after my Arangetram where I kind of just quit. I couldn't do anymore. But I miss it. I miss it so bad. And it's kind of, I guess it's kind of bad. I'm kind of a Bharatanatyam snob now. I don't even go watch performances. It kind of pisses me off when I see the standards nowadays. So yeah, if it comes a time where my daughter wants to learn, I think I will probably teach her myself rather than send her to any one school because I would just be irritated otherwise. So I might as well just do it myself. So yeah, dance. I love to dance. I was on the dance team in college. We used to perform at halftime during the football games, and obviously it was all hip hop. So I got to do a lot of choreography with that, and I love it. I love it. The more difficult and the more you're trying to cram into a certain set of time, the better for me. I used to love Jatiswaram. I used to love Tilana. The emotional stuff like the bhajans and the more like expressive pieces, it was great and everything. Yeah, I can wrap my head around the emotion, but I was more like a technical person. If you tell me I have to jump and turn and twist and blah 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 within like an 8 count, and most people can't do it, I'll freaking find a way. That's how obsessive I was about dance. I loved it. If you had to look sharp and like just hit every step in like a sequence or whatever, I would make sure. I loved it. I really did love it. I do love to sing. I had the opportunity to learn Carnatic music. Unfortunately, I did not complete and do my Arangetram, which is fine. But as I grew older and my voice got a little more husky sounding, yeah, I wasn't able to hit the notes that I used to, and I've kind of not sung since. I mean, we used to do bhajans and stuff. When my grandparents passed away, I used to lead bhajans. Um, when we were younger, you know, how everyone comes to visit and then your mom's like, oh yeah, she can sing. Here, sit down and sing. So it was one of those situations as well. And now it's like you gotta be really close to me for me to be comfortable enough to sing in front of you and be okay with being off key and missing a note and like forgetting the words and stuff. So yeah, um, I love to sing. I love music. If you ask anyone at the Grand Hyatt, anytime I was stationed in the lobby, if I was holding a door and you happen to be holding the door opposite me or near me, you were stuck with me singing to you. Whatever it was. I mean, it was boring down there, and a lot of times you didn't have anyone to talk to, especially if you were working morning shifts. So y'all know I'd be singing something or the other as I held the door for guests to walk through, just to kind of pass the time. Yeah, and then I guess the final expression is hair at the moment. I've been doing hair and makeup. I've been doing my own makeup. It's nothing fancy. I'm really minimalistic when it comes to the look. I don't want it to look like I have a ton of makeup caked on. I want you to see my face. More than anything, I kind of want to make sure that my eyes look very expressive, but they don't look like they have like humongous winged liner or anything either. The colors are usually quite muted or like very slight, so you can see that there is a little bit of color. But yeah, basically that's all I've been doing ever, and it hasn't changed in like 20 years really. Not, I mean, it's evolved I guess, but it hasn't really changed that much. As for hair, I taught myself how to do baby girl's hair, so it was hair tutorials from Mahogany Curls, and I was lucky enough to start watching her back when she had first started. She did her first big chop, and she was starting to grow it out. She was really, really hooked on the curly girl method, so I went out and bought the book and learned about that too. And I've like adjusted since. Now I had the opportunity to start with Aaliyah a little bit, and back when I would do stuff like, you know, put her hair in twists or bantu knots or whatever it was, just to kind of like get her hair not to be braided so tight all the time, because it was actually pulling her hairline up a little bit. Yeah, so from there I ended up doing baby girl's hair, and mostly it really evolved for me when she came here to Singapore, and the heat kind of really got her. Obviously, we left in the middle of winter in the US, and her hair is very long anyway for a 2-year-old, and I was just doing it in like 2 or 3 braids every day. And once I shaved her head and her little, you know, her itty bitty afro was growing out, it became more and more difficult to make sure that her hair was well taken care of. It didn't knot up, that, you know, her scalp was greased and everything. So little by little, I kind of like learned how to do her hair. So right now I think the fastest that I can do her hair is maybe half an hour, depending on how complicated her hair is. So if I do like braids, like French braids, is really simple, maybe half an hour, because I have to keep it wet in order for me to do it and have it dry properly and not like dry up in knots as I'm trying to do her hair. If I do twists, probably about an hour, mostly because I need to make sure the twists are really tight and don't like undo themselves. And I usually put like some kind of gel in there to keep it together. And then obviously I do a lot of cornrows and braids, like box braids. I love box braids mostly because she can tie it up and take it down as many times as you want in a week, and it doesn't really fall apart. And I don't use rubber bands anymore. She's coming up on, I don't know, maybe 2 years since we did the shave anyway, and her hair is healthy. I'm really, really proud. I'm actually really proud. So yeah, there it is, expression. There's so many different types of expression that, you know, that you could utilize for how you want to put yourself out there, how you want to be known, and everything comes with a skill. So the more you take pride in your craft, the more you learn about what it is you want to do and how you want to do it, the more you need to practice, the more you need to like hone your skills and make sure that you're proud of what it is that you're doing. So little by little, I have acquired a lot of skill, and I think I'm grateful to the universe for giving me this kind of like curiosity where I'm not going to ask you to do it for me if I can learn how to do it. Like, if I knew how to thread my own damn eyebrows, I would do that. But lucky for me, my eyebrows don't grow that fast, and so like once a month for $5, totally worth it. That's about the height of my pampering. I don't get my nails done. I don't get my hair done, except for maybe once in a while. And yeah, the most consistent thing I do for me, is to get my eyebrows threaded every once in a while. And that's seriously, it's only once a month. I don't do it that often. But yeah, so hopefully I gave you a couple ideas about the different types of expression that there are. And yeah, I was bragging about myself most of the time, excuse me. But I can only talk about what I know. And I'm sure there's many, many other forms of expression out there, but these are the ones that like kind of are forefront in my mind as far as, you know, things that I'm capable of doing. So who knows, in another year, maybe I'll pick up a bunch of more skills. I would love to do actual music production. I was actually talking to my cousin about that. So music production is on the horizon, hopefully. I would love to teach myself how to play the piano. I have a keyboard here that I could, you know, muck around with and maybe do some YouTube tutorials. I have a ukulele that I can teach myself how to play the ukulele. And honestly, that one unicorn I want to conquer is actually the drums. I really want to learn how to play the drums. So maybe this time next year I can say, yeah, I can do that too. But yeah, all of this is basically about, you know, enjoy your life, take pride of who you are and what you can accomplish. Push your brain to its limits, man. Why don't you pick up a new skill, like at least one every year? They say read a book every day or every month or whatever. Yeah, okay, go do that. But why don't you pick up a skill too? Yes, you're reading about other people's lives, but why don't you do at the same time? Why don't you do something? It's far more rewarding, and I think it's something you can definitely take to the grave. Most times books, yeah, you've added that knowledge into your database, so to speak, in your brain. But every now and again, you got to go back and reread it. But a skill, if you do it often enough, it's like muscle memory. If y'all have seen The Notebook, obviously he was able to. No, was it he or she? I think she was able to play the music without even thinking about it, even though she couldn't remember the name of the song or whatever, because it's like a heart song almost. It was muscle memory. She could just play it. So, yeah. Hopefully I gave you something to think about tonight, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all take care. Bye.